So, he did really well, and that's where we caught up again. I had met him in 1995. In 2003, when I moved to Dallas, he was the promotion director for the station I went to work for. And, there we are, and we're like, oh, wow, I remember you. And our friendship just kind of picked up again, from back in the day. And then when I moved here, I needed to do something. I couldn't just play music all morning. It was a morning show. We had to do something. So at that time, I knew Greg liked sports a lot, and obviously he sounds very flamboyant. And I thought it'd be very funny to have a gay sportscaster, just doing a sports report on all the ridiculous stuff. A lot of the funny stuff was Barry Bonds and how they talk about how he used to inject stuff in people's asses and all this stuff. I'm like, this comedy just writes itself. So that's how Greg started. He used to call me on the phone every week. He used to do it every Wednesday, I think, and he would just do it from his bed. He used to write out his report, and then we'd just have a chat about sports and how ridiculous they are, and that was it. And then one day, he said, okay, I'm going to come out. My partner at the time did not move out to San Francisco yet. So, but he was about to. And he said, I'm going to hitch a ride with him. I'm going to come out to San Francisco. I've never been there before. I want to see it. If I like it, I might stay. If I don't, I'll just head back to Texas. He never went back. And we had to sneak him in, right? I couldn't just hire him because, again, he wasn't female, he wasn't Asian, he wasn't pregnant, he wasn't anything. So, he was not the image that the management wanted for this position. And to top it off, he was gay as well, and they were like, no. Our program director was gay, by the way, and he was like, no, we're not putting two gay dudes on in the morning. This ain't happening. And I said, but no, this is who I really want. This is the person I have chemistry with. Trust me, this is gonna work. It's gonna work. And you watch. And I just, I kind of went to bat for it. Actually, I really went to bat for it. And since they couldn't find anybody else, and I'd stopped looking, we just did it. We just went ahead and did it. It was kind of a loosey-goosey sort of situation. So I had him on the air with me every single day. He was living with me for a little while. Eventually, they gave him he applied for a job within the radio station. He started selling commercials. He was like county executive, so he would sell airtime. And he was horrible at that. He never sold a thing. Absolutely horrible. And but he was getting better on the air, and he was very funny. The chemistry was really good, and some of the clients, some of the advertisers were noticing. Oh, we heard this bit you guys doing, Sassy Sports. Oh, it's funny, it's hilarious. And so, one of the clients decided they wanted to advertise on it. And it was like one of the biggest advertisers, Sleep Train. So, suddenly you got Sleep Train forking over some money, and then a little bit later on, AT&T wants to fork over some money on the show because they have LGBT outreach. And I'm like, oh, this is perfect. And then the next thing you know, my general manager's like, well, maybe 2 guys in the morning might work. When the money started rolling in, that's when it was like, oh, okay, yeah, we get it. This is okay. We can make this happen. And that's how we started. We were on Energy 92.7 for 5 years, and we had a really good time, and it was a really interesting, fun place to be. It was exactly what I wanted. I was looking for something completely different, and this really was it. And then after 5 years, someone else bought it. The current owner bought it, and he also took the attitude of, there's no way I'm going to have all these gay guys and all this dance music and crazy stuff that this radio station does. I don't want this. I'm going to do something completely different. And turn it into a top 40 station, which is what everybody else is doing, including the station that I'm on. And nobody listens to 92.7 at all, it seems. And that was it. That's where we started. We started very, very, very small there, and then we got our big break from CBS in 99.7 now, and here we are. We're doing really, really well. And it's just as fun, just as interesting, and it's a great place to be. So that's how it started.
What are some of the starting salaries for each particular area, like the afternoon, the midday, the morning,
it really is hard to tell these days. I can't, because it really has turned into, you've got one company in particular that really doesn't even have full on-air staffs anymore. several cities. So it's kind of hard because you've got afternoon shows that they might be making some really great money, and then there's other afternoon guys that, like, the station doesn't really have a ton of budget. But as far as like entry, like your first job, if you went to a smaller market, I would hope that you would be able to make $20,000. I hope. I don't know. I don't think it's It takes a while to get the payday, and that's why a lot of people, if this is really what you want to do, and this is the career you want to make, you stick with it, and you will get to a point where you're going to make really good money, but it most likely is not going to happen on your first job.
Do you ever go around like town in the Bay Area, and like someone sees you by yourself? Do they ever ask like, where's Greg? I think you two are together.
That happens a lot. In fact, Greg was just complaining about that because, like, I don't know where he was. And so I'm like, where's Fernando? And like, what do you expect? He's going to be attached to my hip? What do you mean, where's Fernando? He's at home. Yeah, it happens. And, we've been working together for a very long time. So once we're out of the radio station, it's like, I'll see you tomorrow.
You actually brought up something that I noticed. Sleep Train is still taking up a lot of airtime for our radio stations. Do you write the liners yourself when you have to do a commercial, or do they hand you something?
They hand you something, but they would prefer that you take what they give you and then, do your thing. It's funny because I hope nobody wants to be a copywriter, because honest to God, there's like no need for it. Because every time we get a commercial, it's, well, here's what we want you to talk about, but do your thing. Everything is your thing. Do your thing.
Here's the guideline.
And my favorite is, okay, we took their thing and we did our thing, and then they come back and go, well, we didn't like your thing. So we want you to do this. And their thing's usually really boring if nobody cares about it. But not Sleep Train. They're fantastic. They have, not Sleep Train people. Let's make that clear. Who's recording this? I love Sleep Train.
Yeah, that's a representative of Sleep Train right there.
Yeah.
I like the music.
But you're a partial owner of the company. That's what I know about Sleep Train. They do really well.
They got a good song.
They got a good song, and I would go sell mattresses if I can't do this one day. But yeah, they're good, and everybody, obviously, if you're an advertiser, you got a message that you want to relay, and you use a DJ, a air personality, to get that message across. But normally they want you to do it with your own style. They want you to do it the way you would do it. That's the most believable, and that's the most that's what's gonna have the most success.
I listen to Greg when he does the sports testing. Is it harder for a girl to be part of that, like, kind of segment of sports tester on radio?
Well, I think mainly because I don't know. I have to work at the sports station, I guess, to know. But I think sports. This is just what it seems like to me. I don't know, but it still seems like it's a bit of a boys' club.
Yeah.
But obviously there are women who are breaking through. I'm trying to name one, but I'm trying to back this up with some proof. But maybe that'll be you. I don't know. I would imagine it might be a little bit because it does seem very, very. It seems male dominated, and many of the men who do it are men who perform or not perform, but we're athletes.
Yeah.
They tend to go for like big games, but it doesn't mean it's impossible. I'm thinking of the girl from I don't even know what her name is. It's slipping in my mind, but Erin. Yeah, Erin, is it Anderson? Erin Andrews. That's it. Thank you. So there's an example there, and she's doing a lot of stuff that I haven't heard another woman do in sports before. And I hear a lot of commercials. So obviously, she's kind of, her profile's been raised to a point where now companies want her to advertise their products. So she's definitely making some connections. But I think part of it too is it really is. I think there's a lot of room for women to do more in sports. So you should go for it. love it. When we do sports in the morning, you'd be shocked how many women will respond to a sports topic.
Yeah.
And they know everything about teams, and they have a favorite team, and they're more passionate than some of the guys I know.
Yeah.
And I will say, I mean, like, you know, in San Francisco, in the Castro, they opened up a sports bar. That place is packed. You know, and it's not because the players are running around naked. So, I mean, there are some, you know, I mean, it's just not as, you just can't generalize, you know, especially now.